Orange here. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my March 2016 TOA series. Today we're going over TOA Hard, level 60, the Occult girls. I know a lot of you guys struggle on this level, so hopefully I can give you guys some more information and show you guys how I do it, so maybe you can pick up some things that you want to incorporate in your own team, and maybe I can give you some information to help you make better decisions if you have better decisions to be made. Maybe I'll just give you some info and you're like, hey, I didn't realize that. Okay, so basically my strategy that I use to beat this level and that I've always used to always beat this level however many times I've beaten it, I don't remember, it's like 5 or something like that. 5 times I've passed this, not on 60, but I think on TOA normal level 90. I think that's like the highest besides this that I've beaten it. So what I do is I kill the light imp first, then the wind imp, and I try to keep them stunned. So basically I have 3 stunners on my team. My Beretta's on Despair, my Vero has his Stomp, and my Shannon has her Decelerate, which she's on Despair too, so that has a chance to stun, and then keep them debuffed. It's really important to keep those imps debuffed because they will do tons of damage to your Bella or your Vero. The light one will pretty much one-shot Vero. Then the wind one does a bunch of damage too, and you don't want that happening, so you need them stunned and debuffed if possible. So you focus on the light one, then the wind one, and then I go for the light girl first because I figure my Vero has elemental advantage against her, so he can do like a little bit more damage than if I were to focus the wind one. I know Beretta has elemental advantage against the wind one, but Beretta's probably not going to do as much damage as Vero with Beretta's auto attacks or his turbulence, so I just go for the light one first. Once you kill the imps, you pretty much should have it under control. So I'm gonna briefly talk about the Occult girls' skills. So they both have the same first and second skill pretty much. The multipliers look the same too. So then their third is the different skill. For the light one, her third, it says, attacks all enemies 3 times. Each attack has a 40% chance to decrease the target's attack power for 3 turns. So she basically just puts a debuff on you. This attack will deal more damage according to your max HP, so that means that Shannon's defense buff isn't going to reduce any damage she does, but her defense buff will reduce damage from the other girl. I'm not sure if it reduces damage from the imps depending on like which skill they use. I don't think they scale off max HP, but if you guys are curious about that, you can look that up. So then for the wind girl, her third skill, attacks all enemies 3 times. Each attack decreases their attack bar by 15%. So I think it's more important to keep the wind one attack bar reset because you don't really want her pushing your attack bar back because of course you want to have your attack bar, you want your speed buff on you with your Bernard, and you want to be using many attacks to keep turbulence on them, to keep debuffs on them and stuff like that, to make sure your heal's up if you need to heal. So I think it's more important to keep the wind one turbulenced, and of course you have elemental advantage against her, so it should land, and has a 40% chance to increase the enemy's chances of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns. So the glancing hit like isn't too big of a deal, but it kind of is. Your Vero should take care of that just fine. He should be able to remove it, especially because you're boosting yourself with your Bernard, so Vero should take care of all those debuffs. So that's the little thing I had to talk about with the girls, but in the video I may not have done that exactly because my runes are quite good and I honestly don't struggle against them too much at all. I never really have, so I mean I think I did the first time in TOA normal. I can't recall which level it was, but then after that I haven't struggled at all with them, so I kind of just do whatever because I know that I'm going to beat them. All of my runes and my stats and my 246 and my monsters, I guess. Well, all that stuff is going to be in a photo album in the description in case you guys are curious about my stats. And I also put out a April Rune video like 2 days ago, so if you want to look further into that, it's pretty much the same info that's going to be in the photo album, except in my Rune video I actually show you guys all the runes. In case you want to see like what I have plus 15 and stuff like that. So you can also check out the April Rune video or the photo album. Oh, I missed a turbulence there, for real? So yeah, that's all I have. And then as for like other stuff you can use, this team has always worked for me and it's been amazing because of the 3 stunners and stuff. As for other stuff you could possibly use, I'm thinking taunters, any other stunners, Immunity might not be bad, like Chloe or something, but I don't know how well she works. I don't know. I think she'd work because I'm thinking Chloe's are usually supposed to be built, like, pretty fast. So she could possibly work in place of Shannon. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that. So, I don't know. All I can really tell you guys is what worked for me. I can't really vouch for anything that I haven't tried. I'm just kind of throwing out ideas. I'm a big supporter of trial and error a lot of times. You need to kind of try a team, and then if that doesn't work, try another team. That's kind of what I do a lot. And then Reddit's a really good resource to look up stuff like this because I know a lot of people struggle on this level, like a lot. So if you go to reddit.com/r/summonerswar, I'll probably have that in the description. Basically, you can use the search bar and then make sure you're only searching in Summoners War subreddit, and then look for Occult Girls, and I bet there's going to be like a billion other people who struggled and who also passed, so there's probably like a bunch of advice on Reddit about other things you can do for this level. So all I can really say is like what worked for me, and this always works for me. I'm probably just going to keep the same team, unless if I struggle in the future, like if I'm doing TOA hard and they're on TOA hard 90 and I can't beat it the same way that I'm using right now, then I'll have to reconsider maybe building something. Like Mav sounds pretty appealing to me here because of his stun and then his cool time thingy. So then your Beretta has turbulence up and Beretta has his dots up more to again stun again, or possibly stun again, and then of course taunting. So I think that's all of the advice I have. I'm just gonna finish up the level here. So I think that's it. I'm trying to think of other stuff that I can talk about. Come here often? I don't know. What I also did was I tried to spread out my debuffs as much as possible. I think you guys probably can pick up on that, but if something's already debuffed and I have my Shannon's auto attacks up, her first skill, I usually try to throw that on something else to see if she can either stun it or get a glancing on them. And then of course spread out I think right there I body slammed again just to keep her attack debuff up. Sometimes you pick up on trends and stuff, and sometimes I find it to be better to always keep up the 2 turns on the decelerate on her, because if she loses that decelerate, then her next turn her attack bar is just going to be like, whoa, going up so fast. So I usually generally like to keep it up at all times 2 turns, in case like I miss it, then it's like I can have more time to put it back up. So yeah, it kind of actually took a while. They're pretty tanky, so I think it was just because this was on TOA hard 60, it just like took so long for me to kill them because they're just so tanky. So that's why it gets kind of long at the end. Hurry up. I think you can see me using C's because if you pay attention to the damage, C's will actually do more damage than her Bella's first skill. So I always try to use C's when it's up just to get that tiny bit more damage. Sometimes I forget, but it's like one of those memory patterns that I'm kind of like ingraining into my brain to do, like muscle memory. Always use C's on levels like this because she doesn't have any buffs, so you can just use it freely. So that's about it for this level. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, I can try to help. I'm not the best at account reviews. I'm kind of good at saying what worked for me, and then this also works for a lot of other people too. So Reddit, I would say go to Reddit, but I can try to help. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys in the next video.